Hello. Um, Whoever is watching this, hi. Whether you are a friend, a viewer of mine, mutual on Twitter, or by some miracle, Gura, I didn't think that this would happen so soon. I knew it would happen one day, but I didn't expect it to be this soon, I guess. I am going to leave a trigger warning because I am going to be talking about a lot of stuff, a lot of feelings, and a lot of my past that I don't normally bring up. Um, so if you are not a fan of listening to people talk about self harm or anything like that, um, any sort of mental illnesses like depression and anxiety, this is your official trigger warning to probably not watch this. But for those who listen, I appreciate it. I also want to apologize for any possible rambling I do, um, and for any crying you hear throughout this. Um, I started watching Hololive and Gura in college, shortly after their debut, Myth's debut, I should say. Myth debuted in September of 2020, I believe. Yeah, 2020. And I started watching shortly after the year 2021 started in my second semester of college. At first, in my first semester when they first debuted, I didn't really want to get into VTubers. I had not heard of what a VTuber was. I didn't know. And all I saw was on my YouTube feed was this anime shark girl in all over my page. And I don't know, I didn't know why it was recommending it to me. I didn't know how it had even been recommended to me, especially because while I do watch a lot of anime and watched at the time a lot of anime content on YouTube, I didn't really expect to see something so heavily, different, because VTubers, while they are animated in the anime style, most of the time they are fairly different. I just wasn't expecting it. And at first, I very much was heavily against watching it. Um, Flash forward to my second semester when I had thought I knew how the algorithm worked and thought I'd had enough and said, I'll watch one of these videos and hopefully it just takes them off my page after it realizes that I'm not into it. To my surprise, I very much enjoyed the video. It was a Gura clip. I had no idea what I was watching, but I knew that I liked it, even if I didn't want to like it. Because I very much at the time still had a very negative outlook on VTubers and, as a whole. I didn't know what they were, and I really wasn't a big fan of that kind of stuff. So I watched it, I enjoyed it, but I didn't want to admit to myself that I had enjoyed it. So I ended up watching a lot in secret. My roommate would leave the room and I would turn on the TV and start watching. I didn't know. I didn't want anybody to find out, and so I kept that a massive secret from literally everybody, from my friends to my family to anybody else. I kept my love for Gura and a complete secret. I didn't really have a good self-image at the time, and I'm still working on that, but it's definitely significantly grown since then. But I didn't really have a good one back then, and I was doing really bad in all my classes, so I skipped all of my classes, and I ended up failing some classes because I would just skip them and not do like most of the work. It was a very bad time for me, mentally. Um, and so having Gura there as like a crutch really helped me a lot, even if I was embarrassed about it. I I knew that even if I was embarrassed, I was still finding enjoyment out of it. Flash forward a little bit, and I got into a really big fight with people that I thought were my friends. Um, and I ended up pushing everybody away from myself, except for my family. Um, I got to a point where I wasn't really happy at all with anything except for Gura, and I didn't really think that I had much to live for, and so I um I went to the kitchen and I grabbed a knife and I um I there was a lot of emotions going on. Um I was contemplating it for a bit, and when I made my decision, I was getting ready to take myself out of this world when all of a sudden a notification popped up that Gura had just gone live. And so I looked at my phone, I looked at the knife, and I said, "What the heck?" one last time before I go. And it was in that stream that somebody, another fellow chum bud, um, posted gave a super chat and talked about a situation similar to mine. Not exactly, but similar enough. Um, in the moment. And Gura's response basically was something to the tune of, "Even if you think that nobody cares about you, I care about you, and I'd be very sad if you didn't come back to hang out with me." And I, in that moment, broke down, cried a lot, dropped the knife, and thankfully I'm still here. I sorry. That day after everything happened, I vowed to myself that I would never let myself get to that point again. And I'm happy to say that that still lives on. I won't let myself get to that point. But the news of Gura graduating have really hit me because I don't know that I'd be here today if it wasn't, excuse me, if it wasn't for Gura going live that day and saying what she said. And I don't think there are enough words or really anything I could do that could adequately and properly convey the amount of gratitude and thankfulness that I have for her, and the amount of love that I have for her because of everything. That day, I had pretty much dug myself into a hole and filled it up with as much as I could to prepare to go. And she came in with a shovel and slapped me in the face and told me I was being stupid. Now, I know she didn't really do that, but that's how it felt in the moment. And even now, I try not to think about that day for obvious reasons. But I bring all this up to say that the past almost 4 years of me watching Gura have been the best 4 years of my life. I got into VTubing because of Gura. I got into the VTuber world because of Gura. I have a much better personal self-image and a little bit more self-confidence in myself because of her. And I am just quite sad to see that this is how it ends. Regardless of what happened between Gura and Hololive, I don't want to hear or see people talk about how Hololive is over because Gura's gone, because as much as I am a huge fan of Gura, I'd like to think I'm her biggest fan, even though I know that there are people crazier than myself. Hololive is, they have a vast amount of amazing talent, Gura included, for the time being. They have a lot of wonderful people working as streamers and as staff and what have you. I understand why Gura made the decision that she made, and I wish her nothing but the best in her journey. And as much as I hate that this is happening, I know it's happening for a good reason. And I know that no matter where she goes from here, I will follow her and I will support her in whatever she chooses to do from here on out. I was on Twitter all day today at work. I didn't really get much work done today. But I was on Twitter at work today and I kept crying seeing other people talk about their experiences on how they met Gura, seeing that a lot of people had similar experiences to myself. Some people that I can think of were Bjorn on Twitter and a few others that talked about their experiences. I know that everybody is dealing with this in the way that we all have to, and I know that I am not the only one going through this. I am going to be leaving the suicide hotline number in the description in case somebody needs it. I'm also going to be leaving the Discord, the Chumbuds Discord, to for anybody that wants to join it, since her birthday her birthday book project is now being turned into her graduation book project. If anybody would like to participate in that, I'm gonna be leaving both those down below. If anybody needs to talk and doesn't feel comfortable calling the hotline, my DMs are open on both Twitter and Discord. I'll leave both of those in the description as well. This is not at all what I thought was going to happen last night, and I was not ready for this to happen. I don't even know where to begin to process my emotions. I'm trying the best I can, but I really don't know how things are gonna pan out for me in the next few days. I know that I'll make it through this, and I know that Gura will return to us, like she said, wherever, whenever, and whoever we are. So, when she comes back, I know that myself and anybody that is a loyal chumbud will be here to. Sorry about that. We'll be here to make sure that we support her and what she needs and give her all the love that she deserves. Like I said, I'll be leaving all those links in the description. Feel free to reach out if you need to. To anybody worried about me and my mental health right now, I want to say that yes, I am hurting, and yes, I am very upset, but I will be okay. I just need some time. I really appreciate whoever is listening to this for taking the time to listen. I know that this is going to be quite the long video of me just kind of talking. And if by some miracle Gura does see this, like I said, 1 million thank yous. Nothing, words alone cannot describe the amount of gratitude I have for you and everything you've done for me and everything you've done for others. Even if you don't think you've done much or you haven't accomplished much, seeing pretty much all of VTuber Twitter rally behind you in this moment and seeing every other big name, even people that aren't VTubers, look at this situation and have your back, shows me and shows the rest of us that you were a legend in your own way, and you leaving is going to be the end of an era. But I know that you've been dealing with a lot, especially your health issues going on. And I just want you to know that I appreciate you and I'm proud of everything you've been able to accomplish as Gura. And I will, like I said, follow you wherever you go. Wherever, whenever, and whoever we are, I hope to see you soon again. Thank you guys.